Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
the champions. Do, 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 do. Whoa, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm your host Mike and I'm joined in a virtual room filled with one lion who showed up today because he is a postman. Ollie, how are you delivering your mail on the Friday show on a Friday?
I just want to say,
Friday.
I know. I just want to say, Berth and Chris have the audacity to say that I'm never here. If that's not the pot calling the kettle black, I do not know what is.
It's disgusting because you're always here. I've never known you not to be here until you're not here, and then you're not here. It's just what it is. Look. I really hope you're not having a quiet one this weekend because I kind of maybe am.
No, I'm actually not. I knew I was going to be the only one on the show today, and I thought, my God, I can't come with nothing for like the 5,000th week in a row.
You deliberately found something to do.
Yes, listeners, I'm doing something this weekend. Oh. It's nothing all that exciting, but I am doing actually something. I am. I've got a beautiful, juicy sirloin steak in my fridge. Wow. And it's where you're supposed to store meat, and. True. I am. There's a little market just nearby me that's only open on a Sunday, and so I'm gonna head down there to that market on Sunday, and I'm gonna get some things to cook with my steak.
Nice.
And I'm gonna have a beautiful day from it.
Nice. I like that. I'm heading out on some adventures of my own as per usual. There's no bowling this weekend. I've been humbled enough. I was tempted and was like, no, like I have had this conversation.
There's a point where it just becomes, you're doing it to yourself, aren't you?
I had this conversation with my girlfriend. I was like, I won't do bowling this weekend. She went, oh, good. And I'm like, secretly, she would have said no because it was like, you're just embarrassing yourself now. What are you doing? Don't do it. You're going to lose, and you know you're going to lose, and yet you still turn up. You shouldn't. Think about what your choices are.
Ironically, I'm pretty sure that's what Graham Potter said to West Ham this weekend.
Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, hey guys,
just give up. Get everything in the game.
Yeah, that's so true. I do have games of the weekend because actually, I think I've done the games of the weekend. I've just realised I've missed off one of the fucking games because it wasn't when I wrote this. It actually wasn't guaranteed it was going to happen, but now it is. 1st September. Oh, does it count? Yeah, good enough. Right, so 12:30 tomorrow, Saturday. If for some bizarre reason you're not watching Chelsea versus Fulham, Stoke versus West Brom is your alternative. A Midlands derby, 1st versus 4th, both sides flying. Double screen it. Don't watch it. Watch Chelsea Fulham. Come on, be better.
Yeah.
5:30.
Come on, West London derby. Come on.
5:30. Over to Italy. Bologna versus Cesc Fabregas's Como. Get used to hearing Como in this section because they're fun, they're fearless, and Cesc boys quickly becoming must-watch. And every time I say Cesc Fabregas's Como, I'm so close to saying comb over, and I know that is not true. That he's had a hair transplant. I've heard.
Well, he's got a wonderful head of hair, whether it's real or not. So true. Maybe not a comb over yet. Maybe in the future.
Sunday, 12 p.m. Rangers versus Celtic. It's the old firm. It rarely disappoints. Celtic disappointed themselves this week. They wobbled after a Champions League exit. Rangers are complete and utter
Less
shit.
said about them. But
Russell Martin, who would have thought going after your players after match day 1 wouldn't have worked? 4:30, Liverpool, Arsenal. It's the first heavyweight, I'd say, of the Premier League season. So that'll be fun. 7:45, Lyon, Marseille. That's another one. And I'm going to put it in because it is 1 a.m. on Monday morning. So it's September. It's another month. So let alone games weekend. Seattle Sounders against Inter Miami in the League's Cup final, and it's at home. We're playing a cup final at home. I don't know how that all works out. I don't give a shit, but I'm a little bit scared because we have a lot of injuries.
If you lose a cup final at home, you can never live that down.
I'm not confident because Nuho's suspended, Rusnak's injured, João Paulo's injured, Jordan Morris is injured, Ryan Kent is injured. So it's like, okay, this could go one of two ways.
So it's pressure on then because you've got to win it. You have to win a cup final at home, I think.
At the end of the day, this could be Chelsea 2011, 2012, where we've got so many key players out ahead of a big final and we win, or we don't. I don't know. What I do know is we have Shevva shoutouts. So let's have a look. What we got? We got 4-bit. Love it. Was finishing the last pod on the route to the gym. Host announced a new episode coming out Sunday. Check the date. Saw it was Sunday. Now listen on the way back from the gym. Thank you very much, host. Hey, welcome. See, people should stay to the end. It's always a little Easter egg. After credits.
They're too good to you people.
After credits. MC Matt. Hey guys, excellent pod up there, Chelsea. Just want to point out something so we don't hear the old Maresca doesn't use players, right? Hopefully you also noticed, but it seems when we played Gusto, we're going to play different than when we used James. When Gusto's on the pitch, we had Esteval be more of an inside forward to allow for Gusto to overlap. Then when James came on for Gusto, we played James as the typical inverted pivot and Caicedo. Thought I'd point this out to show Enzo's flexibility. I very much like that you pointed that out because it's very true.
Didn't see that, to be honest, but I'm sure it was there. I just didn't see it.
I rewatched some of the games to just back that point up before I was like confidently went, yes, I saw that too. No, I saw it after. So AJ, hearing Chris's rant about Full Crook was fucking hilarious. First time I've heard him really brum up for a long time. Made my day.
Brum up. I love that. That's what Chris does. He brums up properly.
He does. Samuel, Moises Caicedo. That's it. That's the comment. Yes, it is. Marco.
I agree. I am pro Moises Caicedo.
Marco, Cole Palmer is the biggest winner of this game, given how João played as a number 10. He's so much better coming in from the outside. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Interesting.
Jamali, from the last episode on the academy players, there's one I could see play for us in a few years' time, was Yahya Idrissi. He's a very skilled midfielder, and if Chalobah is getting that mini stat drop when he came up against them strikers, then Tosin deserved one last season against Man United. True.
It's Man United.
Yeah, I know. They're not real, but... Ethan, hi lads. Hope you're all well. I wanted to swing a few questions quickly. First of all, if you could make the most overhyped starting 11 and manager, who would it be and why? Bloody hell. That's a proper episode in the quiet international break. So we'll do that.
Mikey, write it down. Mikey writes it.
I know. I need to.
Write it down and we'll do it at some point.
Who would your next ideal signing for us be? Thanks and always and up the Chelsea. Next signing.
That's a bit difficult because the window's about to slam shut, isn't it?
Oh, bang! I don't know.
A centre back probably. If I had to, if I
who you pick him?
Don't know.
Hincapi.
Bastoni might.
Oh, I like Bastoni.
It'd be hard to get him though. It's hard to prize him from Inter.
Bastoni bastards you up. Oh, come on.
Yeah, Hincapié is great, but it looks like he's Arsenal bound. So there aren't a lot of great choices, to be honest. But I just can't. Or a goalkeeper, but I have no idea who you'd pick for that, to be honest. So.
Right, well, Jay Stone, oh my word, this is good, because Chris replied, while I agree with Chris most of the time, I'd argue, even if you thought West Ham wasn't a real game, the fact that the boys scored 5 should be somewhat promising, because if you're that much better than your opponent, you should win like that. The conversation is very different if the final had been a 2-1 victory, because if it is in fact not a real game, barely skating by is a bigger problem, but they did what they should have, torched a team that's worse. And then Chris put back, my overall point was Man City battered an awful Wolves team and everyone thought they were back. Then they played a better team and lost. So while the result is great, there'll be much harder tests to come, which will actually tell us more about the team. I think fair response, that. Fair response.
Chris patrols the the reviews.
Oh, it gets better.
I like it.
It gets better. KP, ridiculous from Chris to not call this a real game. We scored 5 at Parma. Maybe some credit to the manager and the team would do nicely. Chris said, actually, what I said, I love this. Actually, what I said was this was as close to that as you'll get in the Premier League because of how bad West Ham are. You mean credit like making Maresca a winner, which I did, or not picking a player as a loser, which I also did. My overall point was Man City battered an awful Wolves team and everyone thought they were back. and then they played a much better team and lost. So while the result is great, there'll be much harder tests to come, which will actually tell us more about this. He copied and pasted from the other comment.
Yes, quite right. Chris goes to bat for himself, and I appreciate him for that.
I love that.
He stands on business. He stands up for what he believes in.
You know, it just took me a minute there. I'm like, wait a minute, he's copied and pasted that last bit.
It's courage in your convictions to copy and paste your opinions.
Michael says, long-time listener from Adelaide, Australia. You guys make my drives to work or football train so much more enjoyable. Host, you do an unbelievable job. Berth and Ollie always make me laugh. And unlike 80% of the pod, I enjoy Chris's takes and agree with a lot of what he says. Would love to have a beer with you guys and talk all things Chelsea. I love the amount of mentions Coventry get. My dad's side of the family are from Coventry, and they're the second team I support after the Blues up there, Chelsea. I mean, when you've got Lampard in charge, you're going to get a lot of shout-outs, I feel.
Big up Adelaide, fifth best Australian city.
Who are the other four?
What you got? Perth, Melbourne, Canberra, Sydney, Darwin. There's a few others. Yeah.
And Cured goes with, all right, lads, cannot wait for tomorrow's pod and Champions League reaction. Are we doing that? I don't know. Personally, I think 6 games are very winnable, and even Barca at home, I kind of fancy us. If we keep performing, we will. Bayern will be tough, and Napoli will cause us problems. Also, not sure about this Jackson loan move nonsense. Thoughts? I say keep him. Adds valuable depth to our squad. Defo going to hit some home ties in the week. Matthew Harding upper, catch me outside. Chris, I hear that and I just hear cash me outside. That's just like, I can't not hear that.
Our brains have been poisoned by the internet.
I saw the Jackson loan move with a 15 million loan fee. I was like, the fuck? Loan fees are getting mad. That's wild.
Yeah, that's a big fee.
Can't be right. 15 million? What? That's ludicrous. I mean, if we're getting it, I'm not going to complain, but that's no. If Bayern is stupid enough to pay that, what are you doing? 15 million. When we paid, was it 9 million for João Felix? I thought at the time was fucking wild.
True. Although
that's 6 months.
From what I'm seeing, it's a dry loan.
Oh,
from what I hear,
rough.
Which does make it worse.
You got to lube it up. You have to lube up some of that.
You're getting the horny bonk in the Discord for that. Right.
Thank you, everyone, as always, for your reviews, thoughts, and everything else. You want yours read out on the show, head over to Spotify, drop the comments. You know the drill. You know the drill. And of course, you also know that I'm about to give a massive Shevva shout out because this September, our partners head in the game are bringing a wave of inspiring community-driven sport to Kent, kicking off 3rd of September, 7 p.m. 12-week men's mental health football program, and it is at Kedball Sports 3G in Gravesend. Physical activity, mental fitness in one of the best supportive mixed ability environments you can find. And then a week later, the Kimberly Clark Community Hour drop-in mental fitness football is starting in Northfleet, and that's the 10th of September at 8:30 p.m. 3 sessions. If you're over 18, head on down. Just a safe space to boost that well-being, build the connection. Look, we all love this game. We all love this show. You might even find a fellow listener. You never know. And of course, for the parents listening, there's a brand new youth multi-sports program in Bexley Heath. That's the 4th of September. So again, next week, running every Thursday, 7 till 8 until PM, of course, until March 26th at the Crook Log Leisure Centre. So there's loads there. It's football, badminton, foot golf, as we discovered, short tennis, indoor curling. If you've got kids 14 to 18, go along.
Yeah, get involved. You'll enjoy yourself.
Damn right. So now we get to move to the news. Where is it? There it is. Time of the week we check out news you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea News. Karen Chukwuemeka has officially joined Borussia Dortmund. Aaron Anselmino has officially joined Dortmund on loan. Julio Enciso has failed his medical at Strasbourg. That deal is off. Julia Bartel has joined Atletico Madrid on loan. Chelsea have made a move for 20-year-old US women's national team winger Alyssa Thompson. Keanu Dyer is close to agreeing a new long-term deal. Christopher Nkunku is gone. He's joined AC Milan in a €42 million deal. Nike have unveiled Sam Kerr's new player edition model of the Mercurial football boots. Alejand Garnacho to Chelsea is here we go. And finally, Chelsea have been drawn against Lincoln City in the League Cup third round. And Ollie, it's a week of draws. Manchester United have decided they're not going to appear in either the League Cup third round draw or the Champions League draw.
Honestly, listen, I know this is a Chelsea show, but we got to talk about it.
I've heard that they've opted out because they're just shit. That's what
I've heard it was the leaky roof.
Leaky roof.
Yeah, made it an issue for them.
What do you think Ruben Amorim was practicing with the little magnets on a board?
Voodoo by the look of it, mate. Honestly, like it looked like he was practicing witchcraft.
I saw
it wasn't
that.
Football.
I saw that, and I just knew you're going to get memed to shit. As soon as you did that, and it's over.
Do you know what? Football is the gift that keeps on giving, and so is Manchester United. What a gargantuanly clownish institution they are.
I've seen a man. I can't remember who it was. A Man United fan did my Angry Ginge. I don't know who it was, and it was when they got drawn to Grimsby, and they're like, "We'll probably fucking lose this," and I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, they called it. We're there.
That is that is a self-aware Man United fan, and they can be hard to find.
Look, we're not shit. We're in the third round. We have been drawn against Lincoln City. How do you feel about a trip to Lincoln?
I like it. I like going to these games where you don't, not a Premier League side in the third round or the fourth round necessarily yet, which is nice for a change. It's nice going to some of these grounds that you don't get to play in the Premier League and things like that. That's great with the Champions League in Europe and stuff this season, but also, the littler grounds and the littler teams like Lincoln, it's a big day for them. It's good for the gate receipts for them. Everyone will be up for it, probably be televised. It'll be a good game. It'll be an enjoyable day out, I think, for everyone involved.
Look, I've got a bit of background here. They don't exactly have a glittering history in the League Cup. In fact, they've only made it past the third round once, and that was back in 22-23 when they dumped out a certain very good friend of the show's Bristol City. I'm very sorry. You seem to always be catching heat on this show. But look, the Lincoln City they're a League One side. Thankfully, we're not Manchester United, so this really should be a tie that we put to bed with quite some authority, I'd say. I'm expecting a nice mix of youth and experience, I feel. And I've dug into the archive. The Blues have met Lincoln before, just 8 times in history. The last clash going all the way back to 1911 when moustache wax was a tactical advantage, I feel. Yeah, what was the number one? Don't fucking know. I don't know. Someone asked me that.
The number
I don't
one
know.
in 1911.
I don't know.
It's whatever the local choir was singing, probably.
To be fair, Lincoln are doing all right. They got 10 points from their first 5. They've already made it this far.
We should be coasting past them at a canter. We should be doing it with a mix of youth and experience, like you say. And that should be it. If we're talking about our game, like Man United fans are talking about their game, something has gone drastically wrong.
Oh, yeah. Look, as for the scheduling, third round ties, they're split across 2 midweeks because of the Champions League and Europa League commitments. So some will kick off week of 15th of September. The rest, Chelsea included in the week commencing 22nd of September. It's just, I saw some whinging about, this is rigged. You can't have the Champions League teams teams in Europe not drawing against each other. We didn't make the fucking rules. It's just what it is. It's applying to all the Champions League teams and the Europa League teams, etc.
Unfortunately, the game's the game. You've been big fished. You've been little broed. Learn the food chain, unfortunately.
That's it. Some transfer dealings went down. We had Chukwuemeka
quite a lot.
Yeah, I know. And some, they've joined Dortmund. Those are official, stamped. Christopher Nkunku's joined AC Milan in a €42 million package. And I will talk about Garnacho in a minute. And I know Chris listens to the episode. And I'm so sorry, Chris. You might want to skip this straight to the Champions League because you are not going to like what I'm going to say. Just prepping you, my friend. Look, Nkunku, though. Wow. I didn't expect much.
How much was it? Was it
42 million euro deal?
It's like 35 million quid, 33, something like that. That's decent. That I never thought we'd get that for Nkunku. I know a lot of people say he's still class, but he hasn't shown it in years. So the idea of him at this point is greater than the player actually is, in my opinion. But I didn't think we'd get that much for him at all. And Chukwuemeka as well, going out permanently, probably the right call. Anselmino on loan, probably the right call.
Yeah, look. It caught me off guard because Italian clubs are forever telling us they're broke. Piggy bank's empty, man. And somehow AC Milan managed to find 42 million euros. Obviously, it's a bit less, but the whole package or whatever. They found it. Fair play to them. Yes, I mean, it goes in our bank. I don't care.
Well, who have they sold recently?
They have signed. Yeah, they have signed Reindeer. I don't know his name, Reinders or Reindeers. Look,
Yeah.
for me, what makes this even better from our perspective is that sweet sell-on clause that we've seen. We've slipped those into nearly every deal. So
Why
I don't know
not,
how
right?
we've done it, but the point, the tricky part of that is keeping track of all the extra money that we're going to get over the next few years when they leave. It's going to be like, "Ooh, what we get? What's our yearly bonus this year? Oh, nice.
Well, we're hedging our bets, aren't we? For any player who we're getting rid of, whether good or bad,
If they succeed.
for a slightly lesser fee, yeah, they might turn their career around if they do. Brilliant. Well, it
Yeah,
reflects well on us.
yeah, that's the thing. Right. We all knew it. Alejand Garnacho deal. It was coming. Always felt inevitable. It's the kind of move that
Been talking about it since it's like watching an impending
2002,
tsunami on the horizon.
before he was born.
That's been coming for 6 months since
Yeah.
January.
Look. This is a move our ownership wanted more than a pumpkin spice latte on the first day of fall. Look, I'm honestly, I'm going to just say how I feel. I'm not losing any sleep over this because to me, this feels more about Manchester United being a total circus than a reflection of Garnacho himself. And here's the thing. For me, once a player pulls on the Chelsea shirt, they're one of us. Whether I'm fully sold on their ability or their personality is irrelevant. They deserve my backing. They're a Chelsea player. I'm going to support him. I'm going to get behind him. And I'm hopefully going to be talking about a top class player lighting up Stamford Bridge. And I also want listeners to do the same. Support him, get behind him, and hopefully
That's hard when Chris
profit.
Chris is listening to this right now.
Chris does not like this guy.
Going, no, I can't do it.
Right. I'll say this. People and Chris won't like this take. Tough, I say. Look, in today's market, Garnacho is a bargain. Some people are already getting their pitchforks. Look, there is no real downside. Look, his age profile, and he's got a ceiling. If it doesn't fully click, we'll flip him for profit. We will, because someone will pay it. Atletico, someone will. And with all the social media toxicity flying around, I did pull together some data on his previous season. And you know what? It surprised me. It really did. I feel this will calm people down. So, shooting. Let's have a look. 3 shots per game. That's the 97th percentile. His XG per game, 0.32, 92nd percentile. His goals per game, not as good, 0.222. So that's the 86th percentile. So what's that saying? That's saying he's getting into great positions, but he's underperforming that XG. And looking at the shot maps, I'm seeing that most of his attempts on goal come from the wide left cutting zone. Obviously, only 7.9% of those right-footed shots go in. So he needs to be a bit more clinical or more selective, let's say. We talked about a lot of our wingers as well. Now, decision-making, final third, where's that at? So 1.21 shot assists per game, 89th percentile. His key pass success, it's low volume, it's 100%, but again, low volume. Now, from what I've seen, when he does pass the ball, it comes off well. That's a win. His instinct is still to shoot. And again, I'm not against this. Either he does it at tight angles, but we've looked at like Madueke, we looked at Gittins. They don't shoot, and you're like, shoot. So his football brain up there screaming, take him on rather than look up. That we'll have to watch that. He's got to develop that. That's just fact. But again, I'm not going to moan at a winger who likes to shoot on target. And his carries and passes, this is where he's shining. So this is great. Progressive runs, 4.36 per game, 98th percentile. Dribbles attempted, nearly 6, 96th percentile. Touches in the box, 5.75, 98th. So he's clearly thriving. And you give him a channel and he's going to run. He's going to absolutely run and scare fullbacks. Now, to be fair, he's not here to be a playmaker. His job is going to be disruption, carrying the ball, causing a bit of a panic. And he does it well. And this is a stat that's been going around, and I absolutely love it, and I'm going to share it. Since 2017, yes, listener, you've heard this on another show, I'm sure. Only 4 under 21 wingers across Europe's top leagues have managed 2,000 minutes, average 3 shots per game, and 2.5 carries into the box. The list is Lamine Yamal, Esteval, Garnacho, and Garnacho again in a separate season. Wow. I'm not gaslit, but I am not fully as against this move as some listeners are. and some fans are. I don't know what you feel, Ollie.
Yeah, so I was just letting you talk, talk your shit for a sec there, because I was interested to see where you went with it, and I'm interested in a lot of those stats. I didn't know a lot of that about Garnacho. That does make him stand out as an outlier. It's easy to see in that case why the sporting directors have been out after this one so badly, because it seems like he really stands out. I have a few concerns about the Garnacho news. Obviously, same thing as you said. I agree with you, Mikey. I think you've got to support him when he's here, because at the very least, if you give him support, you've got to give him a little bit of grace. He might pay it back, he might not, but at least you're doing the right thing in giving it a little bit. My concerns are multiple. Is one, that it's not really anything to do with his on the pitch ability, because on the field he seems very good. Like maybe he's got a few kinks to work out. Like you say, he's 20 years old. Who doesn't, right? But when you look in the more off the field stuff, there's some things that really bother me. One is the leaking of the team news. That really, really gets on my wick, because we've had that problem at our club before, and it's really annoying, and it tactically undermines the team. So I would prefer if that's not the case. Second, obviously his some of his attitude issues, towards the manager and things when he's not playing and stuff like that while I think overblown by some people, is certainly something to make people aware of, because it is there. You've also got his brother, who while very young, is also a bit annoying as well. And what was the last thing I was going to say? Off the field stuff, I don't know. That was the last thing. It's not necessarily off the field. But if he finds himself off the field, how's he going to react? Because he's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be the main man here at Chelsea, right? He's not going to be starting every game, right? We've got Neto can play on the left, Gittins can play on the left. Even Palmer can play off the left. Esteval's probably decent in the middle and on both wings. João Pedro can move off to the left a little bit as well. You've got a lot of... I know people are saying we didn't have a lot of cover. We do have a lot of players who are in that kind of zone. Maybe not as a touchline winger, but you do have a lot of players who are in that kind of zone. Certainly, Neto and Gittins can both do it on the left. And so you've got to see that Garnacho isn't going to be starting all the time. So are those attitude problems going to just be brought over from United, where he wasn't playing and so he was upset? Or is United such a clown circus that he's going to try and behave himself while he's here? That's the big question for me.
And they're good questions. They are very valid. I look at Manchester United as a total fucking circus, because...
Which is fair. That's a valid way to look at Man United.
I've said what I've said about Amorim being like AVB. Yeah, but I don't think
Unbelievable shout by you, by the way. I thought I thought he was going to smash it.
I don't think Amorim is a bad manager. I really don't.
Do you think maybe Man United just swallows everything?
I think they do. Mourinho called this years ago when Fergie had left and he was in charge. And he went, it's the greatest achievement I've ever done. And in hindsight, he's fucking right. Like, honestly, he won with what he did. He won the treble with Inter Milan. Getting Man United second, I would agree, is better. Because look at that team. We heard a biggest example. I've got to compare this, the situation. We were told Jadon Sancho has personality and attitude issues. Came to Chelsea, I don't remember a single negative personality or attitude thing ever brought up.
No, there was nothing off the pitch.
Interesting. And yet Manchester United, it seems to be all there. I'm jury's out for me. Our club have given up they've done the tests, they've done the checks, and they said all good. Well, we've got to trust them. And for those, I've seen it today. Xavi Simons is clear of Garnacho. Garnacho beats Simons in total shots, progressive passes, penalty box touches, progressive carries, and pass completion. He's raw. There's upside. And I'll be honest, I couldn't give a shit about this Xavi Simons deal, because all we ever heard it from was a certain person who's an influencer, not a journalist. I do not care. 85%. That's all we ever heard. And he was proven wrong. He's been proven wrong multiple times this summer. He had a moan at us for quoting what was the fee in the end. Okay. So I just don't.
I'll say it. Fuck you for reading.
Look, I think we just need to calm down a bit, because I've seen some fans again, like, oh, we've had a shit window. Have we? João Pedro's been great. Jamie Gittins is so raw. We can't comment. That's ridiculous. Hato is a great signing. And again, he's not going to start because that's not really why we bought him. We bought him to be, he'll be one of those rotation players. Delap's a top quality striker. Esteval's generational. End of. Asugo's pretty good. I've got no issues. I think just because the Xavi Simons deal, which again, we never made a bid. If you've got to look at that, we have to keep reminding ourselves we did not bid. There's a reason. We were just kept being told that, we're interested. Well, we weren't. We don't know what the briefs are.
Not enough to bid, clearly. But one thing that I was seeing is that apparently if Nkunku went to Leipzig, that was going to make Siemens so much more likely. And he went to Milan. So maybe that's what, killed the deal. We knew Nkunku was off. Maybe we just didn't know from where. And when he decided Milan, that meant Siemens couldn't come the other way. Siemens seems a very talented lad. He's unfortunately decided to retire from winning trophies, which is a shame. But I'm personally, in the way that you're not losing sleep over the Garnacho one, I'm not losing sleep over this one. He's a talented boy, but we've got a lot of players who are talented boys.
I would like to point out that only one journalist was pushing Xavi Simons. Only wants Chelsea. 85% Chelsea. David Ornstein never once. I like Ornstein because I trust him. I do. He never once mentioned Chelsea and Xavi Simons. He only mentioned Spurs. That's it. And that was in the last few days. Ornstein,
it's interesting.
Ornstein's not paid to say stuff. I think we need to really be. I think this summer especially I think it's been a wake-up call, just not just for me, but I think for a lot of maybe podcasters, maybe football media people, that you should be careful what you're taking in on social media, because we have no idea why certain things are being said. We don't know.
Yeah, because you never know what's not being said and why. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm always sus because there's going to be more towards the end of the window with Isak, Jorgstrand Larsen. There's going to be loads.
I think the thing to recognise is the transfer window is its own ecosystem now. That it sort of generates and it sort of builds and chucks rumours into the ecosystem out of nowhere. And you've got to remember that it's a curated view of reality, and it does get away from some people. So it's just important to keep everything in mind and in modesty on that one.
Yes. All right, here we go. The big one, Champions League phase draw. Oh, the Champions League phase draw is it? Chelsea, we're back in Europe, the elite competition. The opponents.
Even hearing the 8-bit version is
the
so
copyright
nice.
free. Yeah. Barcelona at home, Bayern Munich away, Benfica home, Atalanta away, Ajax home, Napoli away, Pafos home, and Qarabag away. Oh yes, we're back. The Champions League is back, and we're going to briefly go through it team by team, break down the history, pick out some key players, and figure out how Chelsea stack up against each of them. We're not going to go fully in depth.
Let's do it.
That'd be silly.
We're not doing a 2-hour expose into Pafos.
No. Well, David Luiz is there, but I've spoiled it. Look. Let's kick off with the most obvious first question. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this draw? Big red button was pressed and loads of team names popped up on the screen.
Do you know what? As soon as I saw it, I was like, I sort of sucked the air through my teeth a little bit because I was like, oh, I'm not sure about that because it seems like quite a difficult draw. And then I quickly remembered we're fucking Chelsea and we're gonna win them all. There are definitely some tough teams in there. We'll go through them one by one in a sec. But just generally, it felt like we saw a lot of teams who it's not a given that we're going to be beating them, which I think often. In the way the Champions League format used to be, you had at least two teams probably who you could count on reliably being if you're a top team. It's not like that now. There are going to be teams you're playing against a much stronger field across the board, really. And maybe Arsenal, another team like Arsenal, didn't get quite so easy a draw, but they'll face difficult teams later in the competition. At the end of the day, it's the Champions League. You got to play the best teams to win it, and we have some of the best ones in our group.
Yeah. At the end of the day. I absolutely love the symmetry this draw has with our 2012 Champions League run.
I like
We've got this is great. Napoli, round of 16.
Nice.
Benfica, quarterfinal. Barcelona, semi-final. And Bayern, final. That's mad. I was like, that's insane. It just feels like a little nostalgic storyline written all over again. Look, on top of that,
Well, that's important because number 3 is coming this year.
it might just well be. And on top of that, look, each of these games, it's going to be a proper spectacle. Look, we always seem to rise to the level of our opponents. So I'm glad we didn't get a soft draw, because easy groups can be such a trapdoor to mediocrity where we're like, this is expected. Like Napoli, you'd be like, oh, could be slip. I like that. I don't want to go into it going, oh, easy. No. And it'll keep us sharp because of the 8 teams, like you said, 5 of them are the current champions of their own country. What is this? Some kind of Champions League draw? What is it? But this is the Champions League. You play champions. And we will go through each one by one. Some we'll spend more time on than the other because, being realistic. So here we go. We open with Barcelona at home. Well, I don't think we play these in order. That's irrelevant. We don't know what the order's going to be. So Barcelona, the quick history. We've shared plenty of European drama with them. Of course, we've had the semi-finals in 2009 and 2012, the knockout ties in the noughties. And of course, most recently, 2017-18, around 16, they beat us 4 on aggregate. So it's got history, controversy, high stakes. Who are your key players? Look, this is easy. So easy. We've got Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, maybe a future blue, Fermin Lopez, Gavi. So this is a stacked team. They've got young talent. They're fucking poor, but they're rich in depth and quality. So Barcelona at the Bridge, one of the heavyweights from the top pot. Is this going to be a fair test at home or a classic banana skin waiting to happen?
Do you know what? I have no idea because they, in a lot of ways, they are a lot like us. They're probably a bit more balanced in terms of the age side, but they've got plenty of young talent, obviously spearheaded by the magnificent Lamine Yamal.
Mm-hmm.
But there is so much history here that I'm like, if we only win one game in the whole group, please, for the love of God, let it be this one. I would lose to Qarabag if it meant we could beat Barcelona, because beating them it's one of those games, it just means more. Beating them matters. It means something. Just over the years, all the story and all the desperation and all the horror that's begrudged this football rivalry. It's quietly one of the biggest rivalries in European football. And we absolutely have to win. No doubt.
I like that it's at home. Of course I'm going to like that it's at home. Barcelona is always a centerpiece. It's a showpiece event. And Chelsea-Barcelona it's iconic. So many players have played fair few have played for both sides. But whenever we play Barcelona, it's a memorable game. Whether it's Ronaldinho's toe poke, whether it's John Terry getting sent off, Torres at the Nou Camp.
That's what it is. It promises fireworks no matter what.
Yeah, I am looking forward to this. Absolutely. And it'll be one of the first that I'll be keeping an eye on when we play them. Right, next up, Bayern Munich away. Of course, we have massive history. 2012 final, of course. Also, the brutal 7-1 aggregate hammering in 2020. That was our worst ever European defeat. So
I think that's a rite of passage at this point for a team. You have to be hammered by Bayern Munich in Europe at some point.
Obviously, we didn't get to hear Yabba Dabba Doo for 7 times because obviously not all the goals were in Bayern's home ground. Imagine if they did. So key players. Harry Kane, he's leading the line there. We know him. Michael Olise, we know him. Luis Diaz on the wings. We know him. There's firepower there. Look, this facing Bayern Munich in Munich is going to be tough. Of course it is. Is that...
Done that once before, though.
We did, and we won. Is this too big of an ask to expect a win? Or do we think there's going to be a blue miracle?
Listen, we beat PSG 3-0. We blew them away. Maybe they underestimated us. Bayern Munich certainly won't. That German efficiency, they just don't tend to. But I think if anyone's got a chance, we do, because of the way we did pick apart PSG. If we've got some of our players on the right day, there's absolutely no reason we can't beat them. Is it likely? Maybe not. But is it possible? Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I can't disagree. That's the thing. This is the thing. Every one of these games, we could go 6 for 6. We really could, because that's the beauty of cup football. We don't know how we're going to play each team. We don't know what their own form will be. We don't know injuries. Same with ourselves.
Yeah, listen, Barca and Bayern will be two of the toughest games in our entire season this season, probably.
Yeah,
Right, and very early on as well. Like, so there's, we're not saying we're definitely going to win, but there's the chance. There's always the chance.
Well, on paper right now, we're ahead of Bayern Munich to win the whole thing, which I don't know if that's more about the draw and the other opponents, but look, I'm surprisingly Bayern Munich away. I'm not too worried. I still don't rate Vincent Kompany as a manager. Doesn't mean that he's not going to absolutely obliterate us. We have no idea. But it's not. I don't think this will be the game that defines whether we go through or not. So, yeah. Benfica at home. We're no strangers to Benfica. We beat them in the 2013 Europa League final. We faced them again in the Club World Cup. We won. We all remember it.
And there's a little bit of history in the transfer window as well with Enzo Fernandez.
This is true. Who are the key players? Well, they've got strikers. Well, they've got a pair of strikers that we should look at. We've got Franjo Ivanovic and Vangelis Pavlidis. They're serious threats. They've got a new midfield addition in Richard Rios. He's got steel. And, of course, I get to go with the good old Viking horn. If it works, which it doesn't want to work because... soundboard. There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they found the horn in the end. That's good.
Oh, hope we get this right. Frederick Ornes.
Spoken like a true native.
Well, I did pronounce. There is actually. Hang on. Ornes. He does actually pronounce it on a YouTube video. It's what it just popped up. Where is it? Pronouncing his name. Ornes. Oh, someone's going to say it. Type it into Google Translate. Yeah. Well, I will correct this.
Sounds like the
Oshness.
Sounds more like
Auschness. There you
the way
go.
you were saying it sounded more like the seventh planet from the sun.
Yeah, Frederick Auschness. There you go. He's quite a good versatile player. So Benfica carries history. They usually have quality. So it's a little throwback, What do you think? Should we approach this with caution? I personally don't think so.
Hey, I completely disagree with you. I think
Really?
this is well. Think about it this way, Mikey. Right, we've got some of the harder games against like the likes of Bayern and Barcelona. The chances if we win them is basically a coin flip. You have no idea. We've got some of the easier games, like the games against Qarabag and the game, Pafos. We should be looking to win that no matter what, right? So they're kind of guaranteed points. It's these teams in the middle that you've got is where you qualify, and it determines in this new format how high up you qualify, which is quite important. So for me, Benfica, and certainly we'll get to Atalanta, I'm sure, but Benfica is a must-win game for us because they're a team we are still comfortably better than. We have a lot better squad. We have a lot stronger squad. We play in the Premier League in a better league. So we have to be winning that game, but the pressure is on to win that game. They'll give us a good game, but that's where your bread is buttered as a Champions League group stage performance. For me, it's hyper important we win the Benfica game.
I'll tell you why I'm not too upset. I watched the Benfica-Fenerbahce game when it was at Fenerbahce, and Benfica got outplayed by them. And that's the thing. It's going to be at home. I'm not. Look, Fenerbahce aren't the best team in the world. They're certainly not better than us. But
football doesn't work that way. Mikey,
no, it doesn't. But to beat Fenerbahce 1-0 over 2 legs, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced by them. Maybe it'll bite me. Maybe it won't. Atalanta away. We've never faced them in Europe, so a bit of a fresh challenge.
Yeah, a bit of an unknown quantity. Like, will this be the start of a beautiful rivalry or a friendship between clubs, or probably none of those things, at least. But it could happen. You never know when you play someone in Europe for the first time who's around quite a lot. It could be the start of something.
The key players, I'd say it's less about key players, key changes. They've lost Retigri and even their long-time coach Gasperini in the summer. They've brought in Nikola Kristovic, who's their goal scorer. They've got Adamela Lukman, who we don't even know if he's going to be at the club because he wants out. There's no history between us. There's a new coach. There's a big turnover. Does this make them unpredictable and dangerous, or does this transition phase make them just beatable?
Probably a bit of both. I mean, it's when you go into a Champions League game against a team like Atalanta, who up until recently had a long-standing manager in Gasperini, you've got a lot of material to work from in terms of like game tape and looking at what the key structural and tactical weaknesses are to his setup. We've got a bit of a new quantity now, like it's going to be new personnel, new manager, new tactics, new everything. So, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one in terms of working out where they're going to be at. We'll have a little bit from their other games in the Premier League season, but we'll only have enough to really pull out basic trends of the tactical setup, I would have thought, rather than, because even the new manager himself won't have a fully envisioning, a full view of what his team looks like yet. So if you don't know what he's going to do, if he doesn't know what he's going to do, how are you going to know? So for me, they are a little bit of a unknown quantity. But one thing I know about Atalanta for certain is that they're hard runners, and so whatever happens is going to be a difficult game because they aren't. We're not going to outwork them. We can only work as hard as them. They are an unbelievable team for that.
They're managed obviously by Ivan Juric, and everyone's like, I know that name. Yeah, he took Southampton down. He didn't even take them down. He got sacked before that.
Dear.
Well, we should be
beat
putting
them.
We should be putting them to the sword. Yes. Ajax at home. Our last meeting was that unforgettable 4-4 draw at Stamford Bridge in 1920. One of the all-time Champions League group games.
It feels as well.
105 years. Key players. Look, Ajax. This is how lazy this is. This is genuinely. Ajax always bring flair because they do. This is not their strongest era.
No.
Can you tell me who leads their line up front?
No, I could not tell you who leads Ajax
line in
2025.
It is Wout Weghorst.
The Manchester United legend.
Yeah. Look, how do you rate Ajax these days? Are they a threat or just nowhere near the level they were?
I think we should be beating them. Obviously, what do they probably won their league to get into the Champions League? So
no, they did not.
Did they not? Oh
no,
my
PSV
god!
Did.
So they're not even the best team in their country. Yeah, we should be wiping the floor with them. To be honest with you, it should be very, very comfortable. Nothing like the 4-4, nothing like the games we've had in the past against them. It should be a steamrolling time. To be honest.
Yeah,
Listen, don't count them out. Can't ever count anyone out. People are in the Champions League for a reason. They're good sides, but we should be beating them.
Correct. Napoli away. We've only met them once. Technically twice, but overall once. And it was, of course, the 11-12 round of 16 comeback en route to lifting the trophy. We know some familiar names here. They've got Antonio Conte in charge. They're going to be very Antonio Conte team. They're
going to play three at the back.
Damn right. They've got Kevin De Bruyne, Scott McTominay, and maybe Rasmus Højlund, which I'm really hopeful.
They've got the best They've got the best player in the world, Scott McTominay.
He's so good in Naples. He really is.
Caicedo is going to wipe the floor with McTominay.
I'm not going to get cocky here because away at Napoli is fiery. And for me...
Big atmosphere, for sure.
This is the hardest fixture of the entire group. That's how I feel. 100%.
Is that because of the atmosphere?
Naples,
the
Napoli.
tactics?
I would rather play Barcelona and Bayern back to back to back to back than take on Napoli in Naples.
Yeah, I don't like. The fan element is going to be massive, isn't it? Because obviously it's Napoli. The flares, the ultras. I'll be surprised if the players sleep before the game because of fireworks being set off at their hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be every single dirty trick you've ever seen in the book, and probably some you haven't heard of. So it's going to be a very, very difficult game, like you say, especially away. But this is what the Champions League nights are for. I think the team have got to relish the opportunity to play in such a historic stadium, to play with such a massively loud fan base, even if it's not cheering for them. These are the things that European dreams are made of. When you're an 8-year-old kid just starting out in an academy, you think it would be a dream to play there. It'd be a dream to do this. So they got to rise to it. Even though a lot of them are really young, they've got to see this occasion as something to really take in.
Yeah, I will look for. This will be the game I'm most fearing and looking forward to. I cannot wait. I really can't. I can't wait. Pafos at home. They are complete newcomers. They have never been in the Champions League proper. Here they are. So
Greek side.
No, Cypriot.
Cypriot. Apologies.
Which-
That. Really, listen, I didn't mean anything by that. I just didn't know. All right.
We've never played them, and they have next to no
Really,
European
we've never
history.
played them.
They did play. They did enter the Conference League last year, but they were. I don't know what. I think they got eliminated before the group phase. Or hang on.
Right. So that tells you
Yeah.
kind of they're punching above their weight a bit, aren't they?
They. Oh wait, no, I was wrong. They did actually get to. I'm going to look up. I should double check that. Let's have a look. Where did they get to? So they got to. This is the most useless thing I've ever seen. How many times? Matches. Here we go. We're getting somewhere now. They got to the knockout phase. So, and they lost to Ammonia, another Cypriot team. We won that league.
All right.
So-
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not sure that's a glowing endorsement of them being here. Obviously, they've had a very good season if they're able to get through the qualifiers. And
Oh no, they
get
got knocked out in the round of 16 to Djurgården, who we beat.
Djurgården, who we beat. Right.
Apologies.
So that,
Apologies.
in effect, that's the kind, maybe slightly better than that is what we're kind of aiming at for that
We did
game.
all right
That
against
should be
Djurgården.
that should be 3 points on the board
Mm.
and nothing more. It doesn't, like we'll turn up, we win, we move on. That's all that needs to happen there.
Yeah. I look at who are the key players. Believe it or not, David Luiz plays for them. I literally still love this. I'm like, oh, brilliant. What a reunion.
That will be really nice to see, to be honest.
That's-
The
we've
fans
pretty
will be
much
able
done
to
the
give him
discussion.
a really nice reception.
Yeah, we've pretty much done the discussion because it was like, do we risk underestimating them? No, I'm going to be. I'm not going to do this
No.
whole with respect. There's no respect here. We're better than them. We will smash them. And if we
This is the
don't,
food chain.
that's
This is how it
embarrassing on us. Let's be
Yeah.
realistic. Let's not just be, oh, well, with respect, they could be a dark horse. They won't be. We'll win. Now,
No.
Qarabag.
Decidedly not dark horse.
Qarabag away. That's the worst part about this.
Haven't
Because
we played them once
We
before?
did. We beat them 10
I
0
knew the
on
name.
aggregate in the group stage in
Isn't that,
2017
hang on,
18.
isn't that the Davide Zappacosta wonder goal? Isn't that the team
I
that-
believe it is. I believe it is.
on his debut as well? What an
Yeah.
Oh, if you know, you know. What a moment.
This
Where are
is
they
it.
from? Where are Qarabag from? At the risk of making that mistake again, where are Qarabag from?
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
And I will
Interesting.
touch on that. They look, they're going to defend deep. They're going to counter. They've got Cape Verde striker Leandro Andrade. He's the man to watch. Didn't find much else about them when I looked into them, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
This
there
is the
won't be
thing.
too much to know, to be honest.
Qarabag away. This
Qarabag
the football side will be straightforward. It should be. The biggest annoyance of this draw is, well, for fans, it's going to be a fucking 8 to 13 hour trip, depending on flights and travel. I've read that
It's
apparently.
tempting, isn't it?
No, it's not. Do we not remember when we played in the Europa League final against
in
Arsenal?
Baku. In the
And
same country, in Baku. Yeah.
This is it. And everyone was like, it's so hard to get to Azerbaijan. Do we
Well,
not remember this?
I wish anyone who gives that a go the best of luck, and you are a bigger and better fan than I will ever be.
Oh, I just don't. This is the thing. It's the travel. And if you go, I really hope the club, I mean this, I hope the club pay for accommodation and flights because that is such a mad trip. It's going to be long and it's going to be tiring.
If you go there, you need at least a commemorative pin or something.
Yeah,
You've got to
that'd
be
be nice.
proper Chelsea.
I like that.
You know,
Like when we went to, oh gosh, where was it? Was it FC Noah? Was it that one which was
yeah, it might have been Noah
ridiculous and the Chelsea they
in the
did
cold
something
as well. Oh my god.
The question really is, we now know about Qarabag. We know about everybody else. How do you feel about that draw and our chances to get to the knockout phase and not the qualifying phase? Because that's how
All
this
right.
works.
Say if you call it 50-50 or 60-40 or 40-60, or whether or not we beat, say, Napoli, Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Everyone else we should be beating in that list.
Correct.
Right? Which gives us, 12 points minimum? Or how many? 12, 15 points? Whatever.
Yeah.
That should be enough to go through regardless. And at least prove Jamie Carragher wrong, who said we wouldn't even
That'd be
qualify.
nice.
So, that's got to be the goal, I think.
I could not agree more. I think we have to get through to the round of 16. I think to not get to the round of 16.
I think you have to get through because you have to have a good showing in that regard. You've got to at least prove that you belong.
Yeah, that's the thing. 100%. There you go, listeners. We've previewed and looked at the teams that we are facing heading into the good old Champions League. So, you know what it's time for? It's time for a little bit of... Oh, I didn't do it last time, and I'm still trying to... I'm hunting around for this button because I can't remember what I named it on the sermon.
We are so professional, aren't we?
There we go. Match preview.
We hate Tottenham. Chelsea.
Match preview. Chelsea welcome Fulham to Stamford Bridge because we don't want to leave London at all for the first part of this.
Don't even want to leave West London.
No, we just don't like to. Let's have a look. What's the scoop? Well, they are 13th in the Premier League. They got no wins, 2 draws, and no defeats. Recent
They
form
drew to this Man United team.
not great. That's an embarrassment. 1 draw against Brighton, 1 against Man United. Mid-table teams there, 2 draws. I would say the player spotlight is Rodrigo Muniz up front. He's always going to be a threat. He was in the market, apparently. Some teams were looking at to sign him. Maybe we could have. I don't know. Don't care. If we've learnt anything, though, when we play against one particular player, that's Alex Iwobi, watch him. Mark that man. Mark that man. He always seems to do well against us.
I know he's one of those players. I hate it when they emerge every now and then. David McGoldrick was the one I always remember about how much I fucking hated seeing him.
Remember Mateus Pereira at West Brom?
Yeah, same thing. Like Welbeck was the other one. Like just always turns up, always scores. Got the odd goal against us. Even though they never score any goals against anyone else, which is really irritating. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, isn't it, Mikey? Realistically, it's a West London derby. There's a lot of bad blood going on. What again? A bit like some of the teams that we're talking about in the Champions League should be winning, but will we?
That is the important question. Now, the last time Fulham beat Chelsea was on the 26th of December, 2024. That does not sound good. I don't like that it's that soon.
It was a depressing day, Mikey.
What
a
Boxing Day. We got knocked out. But of course, it would not be a preview if I did not tell you the UK number 1. And it was friends of the show, Wham, because they had Last Christmas. I don't love it when it's Wham. So let's find out. Let's find out together, of course, who our Lions will be for the game the very next day. Now, give them away. There's only one. There's only 2 of us in the room, so that didn't really work.
Well, we should. I'm going to assign one for Berth and Chris.
Garnacho
this week. Berth, you get Cucurella. Chris, you get I don't know, Esteval. All right. There we go.
He has picked Esteval both times, so
so pick out Esteval again. And Berth's got a lot of ball knowledge, so I picked someone who I think he would pick. For me, I don't know. I think this is about the attack. I'm going to give it to João Pedro. He's
picked him, but okay. That's good.
Oh, did you pick him?
No. You take it. You take it.
All right. Well, I think he's risen to every occasion so far. Rise to one more, brother. Score a goal against Fulham, please, for the love of God.
The wheel went with Moises Caicedo, so that's interesting.
That's a good choice.
Don't know where
it picks this week.
I did have João Pedro because I'm happy to share. I can't go Delap for the hat trick again. He says as he scores a hat trick.
If you want Pedro, you've got him.
I'll go Delap. You said it for
Delap again.
Delap for the 3rd time. It can't. He can.
The 3rd Delap.
He can't have an average game and not score, can he?
He can.
He can.
Right, that's the stage set. Well, of course, I end the match preview with Blue versus Who. So 3 questions. Nice. You're on your own. This will be interesting.
I am.
I am on my own. Have a look. First question. There are 3 former Blues who have managed Fulham at some point during the Premier League era. I want you to name any of them that are not named Scott Parker.
Oh God.
I couldn't resist because I knew Chris would go Scott Parker. Scott Parker.
Gus Poyet? Is he?
No. This is surprisingly, one's well known, and he also played for another top Premier League team and Barcelona. The other one, I don't remember him playing for us, to be honest. The other guy, but he did play, sort of.
Do you know what? I just don't know.
I'll give. Okay, Mark Hughes
All right, yeah, fair
and
enough.
Slavisa Jokanovic.
Who?
Yeah,
Bless
I
you.
remember him. But not, yeah. This will be great. I'd love a listener to get this. Please tell me if you get this one. Fulham have some very famous celebrity fans. One of these famous names was a groundsman at Craven Cottage before they made it big in Hollywood. Who was it? Was it Idris Elba, Hugh Grant, Michael Caine, or Tom Hardy?
I think I've heard this story before. Was it Michael Caine?
It isn't. It
Ah.
isn't. It is. I can't, honestly, when I found this out, I was like, I cannot not put this in the questions. It is Hugh Grant.
Wow.
Hugh
Of
Grant.
Love Actually fame.
He was a groundsman
Right.
at Craven
That-
Cottage.
he did that, didn't he?
That is absolutely, yeah, yeah.
All right,
I just
check.
found that absolutely wild.
That is
mean-
weird. I don't know. Doesn't seem much of a football guy. So interesting.
It's just,
It turns
Oh.
out I don't know Hugh Grant at all.
he is a Fulham fan. He is a Fulham
Yeah,
fan.
fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Someone has to be.
Yeah, to work a groundsman. If someone says that's not true, Google it. It's true. It is true. Finally, I want you to do this is going to be a theme, I think, for all season. Put these former Blue players in order of when they first joined Fulham. Looking
gonna
forward to when I
busted
do
you
this
up.
for Pafos. It'll be David Luiz. That's it. So
I'm going to
I've
bust
got
you up for this, Mikey.
I have got Scott Parker, Damien Duff, Lucas Piazzon, Heidegger Johnson, and Wayne Bridge.
Oh, they're all kind of similar. Fuck.
You know what the worst part is? When I
What?
wrote this, I'd forgot Heidegger Johnson played for Fulham. I could not
Oh.
even picture when he did it.
Fuck. Okay.
But he also played for
Parker-
Stoke. When did that happen?
Parker, Duff, Piazon, Johnson. Shit. All right. I'm going to start with. I'm trying to think of who played. I don't know. Duff, was he first?
He was second.
Second. All right. Parker first?
No.
Must
He
be
was-
Johnson then.
No.
What? Lucas Piazzon did not play for Fulham
No.
first. Out of
Who's the other guy? There's 5 people on this list.
Oh, who's the fifth one? I didn't hear
Wayne
the fifth one.
Bridge.
Oh, Bridge. All right.
Fuck's sake.
Bridge
Wayne
first.
Bridge. Yeah.
Bridge first. Then Duff.
Yes.
Then
That's
I want to
this-
say Parker next.
No. So it went
Jo-
Wayne Bridge
Johnson
05. Yeah. Wayne Bridge
Right.
05. Damien Duff 09. Johnson 2010. No memory of this. Scott Parker 2013. Lucas Piazzon 2016.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. No.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. There's your preview, listeners. I'd love to know if you've got any of those right. It's a fair play. Right, we'll go to Christmas questions before we close out the show. Mudrick's personal trainer, getting them in these, asked if you had to build a Chelsea player in the gym, like a creator player on FIFA, whose pace, strength, stamina, shot accuracy, and passing would you combine?
Hang
Now-
on. Hang on. I'm gonna have to write this shit down.
Ollie
What's the
needs to
first one?
think pace, so their speed, their strength, their stamina, their shot accuracy, and passing. You could have just built Madueke. He's great on all of those. Shot accuracy was amazing. Bakayoko for passing. Oh, amazing. No, right. So it's basically current players.
All right.
Now, whilst Ollie thinks, I have got 2 teams here. I've got the men's and the women's. For the men, I went Pedro Neto for pace. Strength, I picked Reese. Stamina, easiest pick ever, Caicedo. Shot accuracy, that was tough because I couldn't. I was like, technically, it's probably Jackson, isn't it? But he's not going to be with us. He's probably going to be sold. So Cole Palmer. And passing, now this is going to upset people. I went Tosin because I think his passing is absolutely underrated. I think his long balls is amazing. So for the women, pace, Myra Ramirez. I love when she hits the after, she's gone. You're not catching her. Strength, the James family take this category because I've gone Lauren, 100% Lauren. Stamina, Millie Bright. She played every game last season. Well, nearly every game. Incredible stamina from that woman. She's amazing. Shot accuracy, easy. Aggie Beaver Jones, 1.6 shots on target per 90 last season. No one across either team had higher. And for passing, again, she's in here twice, Millie Bright. Because again, I got stats. Last season, that woman topped Chelsea's accurate passes per 90. See, let me say it again. She topped our accurate passes per 90 and long balls per 90 accuracy. Job done. What about yourself?
All right. That was the perfect timing because I've just about finished. Okay. All right. So for pace, for the men's, I've gone with Mudryk. He counts.
Does
I don't
he?
care what you say. Yes, he
He's
does.
not allowed. He can't. He's not allowed. You've just lost.
Is he
pace.
contracted to the club, Mikey? Is
Yeah,
he
that's true,
contracted
actually.
Yeah. All right. I've rested my case. And for the women's, I've gone with Sandy Baltimore because she's pretty.
Oh,
nippy.
what have I done? I forgot.
For strength, I've gone with Caicedo for the men's and Maya Ramirez for the women.
Yes.
For stamina, I've gone with Mark Cucurella for the men and Millie Bright for the women. Shot accuracy, Palmer for the men, of course. Sam Kerr for the women. And passing, I've gone with Colwill for the men and Natalie Bjorn for the women.
All those are good shouts.
She's underrated passer of the ball.
True. Oh, that is so true. We will talk more about the women's team next Thursday show because obviously WSL kicks off Friday next week. And of course, we have got a preview. And I'm really hopeful because I know some people tune out when we do the in-depth on the women's team. And that's just what it is. I hate that. But I know there's a lot of listeners that want to hear about the women's team. I know we have a lot of female listeners who also want to hear about the women's team, and we are going to give them the duty and the attention that they deserve.
Here's an interesting thing. If you are currently listening to this show, and you usually are one of these people who just skips over the women's team, just for that episode, just don't. Just for an interest, just for a thought experiment for yourself, do it and see what you think.
But yeah, because you will learn stuff. I learn stuff because I have to write all the script out and what I'm going to be previewing, what are we excited about, what we fearing ahead of the season.
And I get to learn stuff because I get to listen to Chris talk about the women's team.
Exactly. Chris is so good. That is, we've had a lot of we've had a laugh tonight at Chris's expense in a lot of things. But there's one thing we can't laugh at. His female ball knowledge is outstanding. He puts me to I learn every time he speaks about the women's team.
He's a pioneer.
Yeah,
a visionary.
He's really an intelligent guy. He really is.
Dare we say a prophet?
He might be. Listeners, we're at the end of another episode. I know you're shouting, "Where's Lone Army?" The carousel's rusted.
It's just me. Of course, it's just me.
When did we last play? We last played it on the 31st of July, a whole month ago. For fuck's sake!
Oh my god, it's been. If you have picked one that was relevant at the time, it's not anymore.
No. Oh, I'm not going to tell you because you could Google it. At the moment, you are joint with Chris on 9 wins each. How have we played this game 18 times at least? Well, we've played it a total of 21 times. How?
Hang on, we played it a total of 21 times. And we started when? At the start of the year?
3rd of Jan, yeah.
Yeah, it's August now. That's not great, to be honest.
How many weeks are we? We're in. What week are we in? What week are we in? Let me have a look. What's Google?
Let's have a look.
Week 35. So
we've missed 14. You know, these are Romeo, Lavia, Wesley Fofana's numbers.
What are we doing? Oh man! Right, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you, of course, listeners, for tuning in. Don't forget that we are proudly partnered with Head in the Game. That is the mental health charity using football sport wellbeing community. You can find out more at headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday because, of course, winners and losers against Fulham. Hopefully more winners and losers. So until then, that will be us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.